to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share will help you and enlighten you as you transition your family from struggling to survive sickness and disease to thriving right in the midst of it. Last week we talked about cycling around, going back and having to deal with and face those hard seasons, those dark seasons, those struggles in your health. Some things that you thought that you made it through that you thought you weren't going to have to go through again. We talked about how sometimes that hopelessness comes, but we got to keep hope and we got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I just want to expound on that a little bit today. I want you to know that sometimes when you're in those seasons, you may feel like you need to talk to people. And I think it's a good thing to find people to talk to. However, I want to tell you to be selective in those that you talk to. Because there are a lot of people who, well, there are some people that, number one, when you come and try to talk to them, they just don't want to hear it because they don't want to be bothered with anybody else's drama. Number two, you're going to find that there are some people out there who are, especially in the faith-based world, who think that you're talking negative, you're talking down, so they don't want to be around you. They're going to want to cut you off. They're not going to want to really spend time to encourage you. I would be selective. If you have a really good pastor wife, really good elders, those are the people you need to talk to. And just because a person have a title doesn't mean that that's the person that you need to talk to. You need to actually know the heart of the person and person that you're talking to. Also be aware that sometimes when people you're talking to, you might just need to be heard, but you might get a dose of tough love back, because no one can sit there and empathize and sympathize and, well, they can do that. Empathy and sympathy is fine, but empathy is fine, but what's not fine is for someone to just sit and pity you and take that road with you, because both of you will walk away and neither one will have benefited from the conversation. Sometimes a good dose of love and to help you is to tell you, you got to get back on your feet. You know that ain't true. So they're going to talk to you in a way that you might not want to hear and you might not want to receive it, but sometimes those are the people who are loving you. But you got to know the heart of the person that you're talking to. When you're in those seasons, the best thing to do, though, that I found is to fill your ears and your eyes with that which encourages you. So there's a lot of motivational out there. There's a lot of good Bible preaching out there. Find the subject and the topic that's dealing with what you're going through. Maybe not necessarily the disease, but so you're fighting hopelessness and looking for hope, looking for willpower. Find that which strikes that inner chord within you that makes you stand up and that make you rise up. And when you find yourself in those seasons, it's a good time to turn off all other TVs. Don't be watching a whole bunch of movies. Fill yourself with that which is going to motivate you to keep on going, to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Do not allow yourself to get in anything that's going to cause you to go into a lull, because when you're in that place, y'all, a lot of times you just want to zone out. You just want to watch TV where you don't have to think about anything, where you can just zone out and be away from everything. Don't turn to drugs, don't turn to alcohol, don't turn to just, nullifying it. You got to deal with stuff as it comes in order for you to conquer and to overcome. So as always, I talk to you guys from my experiences. I talk to you from the things that I know that I've experienced in life. And I've experienced all of this, y'all. And when you're going through those places, sometimes some people don't recognize it. They're still expecting you to be that strong-willed person that you were in another season, and they don't see that you're down. They don't see you're broken. They don't see that you're hurting. And if you're like me, a person where a lot of people come to for advice, for wisdom, for an ear, a lot of people don't stop because they don't want to see that you're going through, or that this is not a good time, or you're not in a good place. They still want to pull from you. It's important that when you're in them down seasons like that and you're struggling on the inside, to cut off a lot of communication with a lot of different people. I remember there was a time when I was struggling really bad and I was fighting for my life, and it was a time when I was ready to go. I wanted to check out of here. It was not a good time for me. And a person that I would encourage a lot, and I would talk to a lot, and I would help a lot. I was telling her, you know, I'm gonna have to stop talking to you if you keep coming back like this, because I'm giving you all I got, but you're not listening, and you know, I don't know who you're talking to that's taking you in another direction. Then you come back to me to get you, you know, pumped back up. But I'm struggling right now in myself. And when it was at the height of a really bad time for me, it was at the height of a really bad time for her, and I couldn't answer her phone calls, and she was on my answer machine crying really hard, and she really needed somebody to help encourage her. And that was the day before she died. But I couldn't answer that call for her, y'all, because if I did, I probably would be where she's at right now. I would not be here today. Sometimes self-preservation has to kick in. You can't carry everybody when you're in them seasons where it's hard for you. When your faith is shook, you can't carry everybody in them seasons, y'all. In those seasons, you got to preserve oneself. You got to preserve yourself, and you got to do everything you can to build yourself up and surround yourself with people, with things that you're listening to, things in front of your eyes, what you're reading, that's going to help you to strike that chord within you, to get you to rise up, to cause your spirit man, your inner man to stand erect. Also, something that I wanted to share with you all is that when you are looking at my family inside of the house, when you are going through those times, and when you are going through those seasons, something that's important that you have to learn, that in life you got to have some stuff down in you. My pastor said you got to have some things in your arsenal. There are some things that you got to have that's in you, that strikes a chord in you, that you know that you can pull out of you in the time of need, to say, you know what, this too shall pass. You know what, all things are going to work together for my good. I have a lot of scriptures in me that I use, because those are the things that you're going to have to learn how to encourage yourself. You can't always depend on somebody to encourage you. And you know what, that caretaker, they're not always going to be able to encourage you, because they're going through the same things that you're going through. They're going to need encouragement themselves. And sometimes, y'all, people just don't know what to say. People just don't know what to do. Sometimes this stuff is so heavy, y'all. Sometimes this stuff is just so like, woo, it is mind-boggling, and it is more than what a lot of people can comprehend. So you better have some stuff down in your arsenal. Get you some mottos, some mantras, something that's down in you, some songs that you know that, you know, you can relate to, that says, you know what, you know, we were made to thrive. You know, all them things, those things that speak to you. Because if you don't know how to encourage yourself, y'all, sometimes you might be in that hospital, might be real lonely, and ain't nobody to encourage you. Sometimes you may be able to hear, you may be able to understand what's going on around you, but you may not be able to speak. You know, you may not be able to open your eyes and be able to communicate with other people, but you better have something down on the inside of you that you can pull on and pull out, you know, that can encourage you and help lift you up. Okay? So I hope, y'all, that there was something in this that could help you, that you can pull out of this and use for your own life, as in all things. Do you? I appreciate the fact that you tuned in. Hope you tune in again next week, and I look forward to seeing you. Until then, bye.